Google has just recently updated its local search algorithm, and this is the largest update since 2016. I'd like to share a little bit more about this because this may have some implications on how you're being found. But the good news is it may not necessarily mean you have to do a lot different than just more of the right thing. So let me get right into it over here. I'll show you the report that I found and let you decide as to what it is that you need to do to make sure that you're continuing to manage your Google My Business, or what we used to call Google My Business is now called Google Business Profiles page. All right, so let's just go right over here. So you'll see over here that the report that came up from Bright Local does talk about how this is called the Vicinity update. And what they talk about over here, and I can scroll through, and then I'll actually have this report in the links below. What it's all about, how it's changed things, and this is what I want to focus on, is these two maps that Claire Carlisle was showing. This is what it used to look like with a search result if your business was in the middle, okay, how you would be found, and quite possibly how it might look differently. So you'll notice that the green dots show that you're basically being found in the 1, 2, or 3 positions. But that if you're over here, the 1, 2, 3 positions is a lot fewer. So in this instance, for this particular business, it was actually a positive update that was, or positive change to their results. So it may be better for you, it may not be, but the right thing to do is to make sure that you verify how you're showing up. And if you're looking for a map like this to be created for you, I'm more than happy to help you create one of these search maps so that you can see how your business is being found for keywords. Okay, so let me go into the actual information from Google directly. What they're basically saying is that the update basically doesn't have an impact in terms of the basic things you have to do to make sure that your business is actually being found. There's essentially 4 key elements and three key categories that are really important to remember. So the first thing is to make sure that you have complete data about your business, okay? That's your name, address, phone number, website. The categories are really important. Make sure you continue to update your categories. Make sure that you verify your listing. That's another very important thing, okay? Make sure that you have hours that are up to date. This is one of the things that a lot of people tend to forget, is that your hours of operations is not just an indicator of the fact that you're open or you're not, but it also tells Google whenever you made changes to your hours of operation, exactly what's going on with your business, that you're actively managing your listing, all right? The next step is responding to reviews. I've talked about this on many occasions. I can't speak highly enough about making sure that you ask for reviews and you respond to your reviews on a regular basis. Make sure that you have a constant flow of new reviews coming to your business. Old reviews do have some value, but they lose value over time simply because of the fact that it's not an indicator that your business is still up and running. So make sure that you have an ongoing flow of Google reviews. Yes, you should also have reviews on other platforms too, but Google reviews are still incredibly important, make a big part of your local search results for Google. And finally over here is adding photos. No surprise, as a photographer, I'm sure you'll appreciate that I believe that it's really important. A lot of those photos you might be able to take yourself, and that's fine. There's lots of times when you can't call on a commercial photographer to help you out. But make sure that you add photos on an ongoing basis. And I'll open a separate tab that explains a little bit more about what kinds of photos that you want to be adding. They don't necessarily talk about virtual tours in here because they're really speaking to you as a business owner. And knowing full well that the virtual tour photography is a service normally provided by Google Trusted Photographers separately. So those are the 4 areas that you want to make sure you keep updating on an ongoing basis. Why? Because ranking is still based on 3 major things, which is relevance, okay, which is basically your categories and your brand and your service and your offering, and where you are in relationship, which is distance. Right? So that's how far you are. So in fact, they're putting a lot more emphasis now with this last update to make sure that you're being found for more local businesses. So if there are several businesses that you're competing with that's in exactly the same category as you, you'll find that quite possibly updating your Google My Business or Google Business Profile page is even more important than ever. And prominence, well, that's the stuff that basically is the SEO element of your Google Business Profile. And that's where the photos can play a big role. So make sure that you do actually have some good quality photos. that help to explain what it is that your business is offering. So let's get into that a little bit more. So when it comes to photos, first you have to be able to manage your photos, because you'll find that there's times when old photos have to be removed. It might be photos of old staff members that have left. There's been a lot of changes in staffing since COVID, so you may need to make some updates in that respect. You may need to remove photos that are inappropriate or not of your business. Sometimes people take pictures while they're inside of a business premise. A client of yours might do that, and it's not your business, it's somebody else's. So make sure you're on top of that, and you can manage this. This page over here, I'll put the link to this page also. This over here page does explain how you can remove photos that are no longer valid or appropriate. And you can also add videos. Now, when it comes to videos, there's a couple of key things. I'll share a little bit more about this, but videos are really a new thing that you can also add to your Google business profile. So keep in mind that when it comes to videos, here's the information. You want to make sure that the video is no longer than 30 seconds long, that is no more than 70 megabytes in size, and that the resolution is at least 720p. In other words, high definition, the basic high definition. So those are the three conditions that they ask for you to make sure that your videos are filmed at, so that it will look well. I've looked at a lot of videos on Google business profile pages, and for the most part, most of them aren't very good. So it's worthwhile to consider possibly, this is where hiring a videographer to create show reels or photo reels or information reels that really help your business be showcased properly. This is an area of opportunity for you. So tips for photos. So some more tips for you. Remember that the photos need to be able to showcase the exterior of the business, basically, so that it can be recognized if driving by, or if in a shopping mall, if you're walking by. The interior photos, what does the place look like? This is really where the virtual tours do their best work. It does become a big part of the interior photos. Product photos, so if you have distinct products, distinct categories of products, make sure that you are highlighting that. Photos at work is people at work, essentially. So think of customers being served at the counter, staff members restocking shelves or cleaning. Those are things that are going to be really important. If you're in the food industry of any kind, making sure that food and drink photos are also shown. People like to be able to see those great photos of food. Common areas, in other words, is there a common gathering area or central area that would help people recognize who you are and where you are? Show the rooms separately. If you've got separate rooms, if it's an accommodation business of some type, also make sure you show that. And team photos. One of the things I recommend with team photos is it's good to have a group shot, but it's also good to have individual photos, especially in a situation where you do actually have some staff turnover. It's easier to remove a photo of an individual person compared to having a team photo. Team photos are good too. They're great fun, and they can really show a lot of the character and culture of your business. So those are the bits of information I wanted to share with you with regards to the basics. A lot of this stuff you can do yourself. You don't always need to have a specialist do a lot of this work for you. That said, if you do want some assistance, if you're looking for better quality photos, happy to help you out or recommend people who can give you a hand with that, especially if you're not local to me here. But Google Business Profiles has been updated. This new local search update is a really important one. This mapping, you want to be found. There's three things that I always tell people. You want to be seen, you want to be found, and you want to be trusted. Those are the three things that really your photos, your directory listings like Google, your Google Business Profile, and your reviews really allow you to do. So that's it for now. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. More than always, I'm happy to help you out. And that's the Vicinity update from Google. Thanks for your time. Bye for now.